thank you for listening to part 1. Part 2 starts right now.
That's what it is.
Well, we gonna jump right in, y'all.
Okay.
We got Michael Strautmanis right in front of us.
Hey.
Man, you are the public affairs person.
All public, all affairs.
All public, all affairs.
Public, all affairs.
Okay, your name tag has half of your last name on it. Is that your preferred? Is that how you like to be?
Yeah, you know what? Everybody ends up calling me Straut. So it's a sign of the power of the presidency. Because
Okay.
Is that what the president calls you?
President Obama calls me Straut, and
No, we gonna call you Straut.
Okay,
We will
and then
do
it
that.
just that's just that just ends up being what your name is.
I mean, if a president
Right.
nickname you,
Exactly, it's over.
it's over.
over.
It's over. Right?
That's
Who are
your
we?
name.
So look, I stopped. I left the White House after re-election in the second term. I actually went to go work at the Walt Disney Company.
Oh wow.
And at Disney, you have the same thing. You have name badges.
Right.
But the name badge said Mike because that's actually my name.
That's the name. It's your name.
And so I came back, and one of my colleagues was in a meeting with President Obama, and I think they were worried. They were nervous that maybe I got fired because they were like, he keeps talking about this guy named Straut, that he's going to do all this stuff, but I think it's the stuff that you do.
Oh no.
And I was like, I'm like, it's okay.
No, we secure here.
It's me. I'm Straut.
That's
That's
awesome.
so funny.
That's awesome. I mean, you are the public affairs guy for the Obama Presidential Center.
Yeah.
Like
word.
For the whole foundation.
for the whole foundation.
Whole foundation.
Like, just hearing those words, what does that mean to you to kind of be, the face of what people see, hear, and think about this place?
Well, really, it just gives me an opportunity to find a way to bring people in to the work.
Yeah.
And into the joy and into the experience. And there's so many ways to do it, right?
Yeah.
Some people are going to watch some social media thing.
Yeah.
Some people are going to decide that they want to give $15.
Right.
Some people are going to walk across the street and come in here. Some people are going to read, a newspaper to get here. Some people are going to listen to a podcast. Some people are going to look at a billboard. Some people are going to listen to a speech. But I think what we have to do is we have to have just this radical invitation.
Yep.
And that means that we have to find people where they are.
Yeah.
And then say, essentially, like, you belong here, which is why you also have to see yourself here.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And because if you see yourself here in some form or fashion, then you're like, okay, well, let me check that out.
Yeah, maybe I could be there.
Yeah, this might be for me.
Wow. And I mean, we've talked to many of your colleagues earlier, and they all said the same thing.
They said the same thing about me. That was very, very nice of them.
They said, watch out for that.
Yeah, exactly. That brother owes me money. You know where he's at? Is he gonna be here?
They got your number.
I had to
Yeah,
write Michael,
right.
so
I'm
they
like,
don't know.
we went to all have dinner, and all of a sudden his Venmo wasn't working.
Yeah. We went to the bathroom. We ain't
Yeah,
never
we
seen
gotta
it.
find that, bro. I'm sorry.
No. Have fun on here, man.
Man, it's been a long week, man.
I know. But that's to y'all credit, man. You got us a big thing happen, historic thing happen here, and you all have made people feel welcome here. You know what I mean? Like, we've got people from all over the country coming here, man, from far Honolulu coming for just a couple days, to be here in this presence. So your message is getting out there.
I like to hear that. I like to hear that. And I think what I want people to feel is that they're going to experience a feeling that they really can't get anywhere else.
Right.
And like some people, that's not usually intellectually how we make decisions.
Right.
We don't say, I want to go to Wrigley Field because I want to feel.
Yeah. No.
Great. Or I'm going to go see, Bruno Mars because I want to feel a particular way, right? That's not how we make decisions intellectually. But I really believe that as humans, we make decisions about where and what we want to feel.
Yes. Yes.
And you could want to feel inspired. You could also want to feel, some people love horror movies.
Yeah.
Right? Because they want to feel that.
The rush. Yeah.
I don't.
No, me either.
Right? And so it really is this feeling that I hope people are coming here to experience. And then our job is, and this is where the work comes, is we've got to pay that off.
Right. Right.
Because then that's where you're inauthentic.
Right. Somebody from Honolulu come here, they got to feel what you're talking about.
They got to feel what brought them here.
Yes.
And once they have that authenticity, then that payoff happens. Then that self-belief happens.
Yeah.
And that's everything Barack and Michelle Obama talk about.
Right.
Right? They want people to feel like ordinary people can do extraordinary things. That's our job.
Yes. And what does that payoff for you feel like when you know, all right, man, I see that person from Honolulu, they came here, and I see the joy in their eyes, and I see the reception that people give me. How does that make you feel?
Well, first I cry.
Yeah.
I do. I cry all day. You saw Valerie Jarrett.
Yeah.
She and I have worked together for a very long time. I was her chief of staff in the White House, and she started to get used to this.
Yeah.
So something would happen, and I just would hear her say, "There you go, he's gone."
he lost it.
Exactly. Get him a tissue. He's gone. But I've actually come to rely on that feeling as my sense of whether or not we've done things the right way. So right, I'm approving our advertising, right? Or I'm going through the run of show for the grand opening, approving the artists and looking at that. And I actually now wait until I feel that thing.
Yeah, the inside,
Yes. And that has become something that I rely on. So I now have a very intellectual way of doing things. I have a very just work ethic.
Yeah.
I'm going to work as hard as I can way of doing things, but I also am always looking for the magic.
Yeah.
And so that's that is truly the experience I have when I see someone, my biggest crying moment yesterday. Can't believe I'm telling this story.
No, tell them.
Is so I was there when the first 100 guests met the Obamas.
Yeah.
And at the first part of it, my job was to basically hype people up as they were coming in, to just greet them with joy and love and make them feel welcome.
Yeah.
And as the line kind of, got to the end, I decided I would just watch a little bit of that experience.
Yeah.
And then there's a woman that works here. Her name is Odalise.
Yeah.
And she is the person who built that experience. And so she chose every family that was one of those first 100 guests.
Oh,
Wow.
And so it was very important to us that those 100 guests represented kind of the spectrum of this country.
Yeah.
And so she knew all of their stories. So she was just in tears.
Yeah.
Because she said people, as they got through and were in the museum, were texting her.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Thank you so much. I'm here. I did this, that, and the other. And she knows, because she knows their story, she knows their struggles.
Yeah. Right.
And so I brought her over to Valerie and said, Odalise was the one who put all this together. And Valerie brought her over to see President and Mrs. Obama and said, this is so as they were finished,
she got her flowers.
And they had a chance, and they gave her a huge hug and thanked her so much and told her just how much what she did meant to them. So can't handle it anymore.
Man.
Yeah.
So I go and walk off to, of course, this is the problem of working at the Obama Presidential Center. I go walk and see some other beautiful thing, right? So I'm now in front of Martin Bradford in the Hope and Change lobby. Now, you get messed up on that anyway. So I turn down. Now then I can't do that anymore. And so I decide to look to my left, and out to my left, I'm looking at the plaza, and I'm right behind the statues.
Wow.
So they can't see me.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at them, people taking pictures with the statues.
Yeah. High-fiving.
And I just sat there. I just stood there and wept.
Man.
So that's what this is.
Man, you know, these I'm talking a lot.
No,
I got a partner here, but I'm
fine.
just, you know, I love this energy. Hey, Sarah,
I am still here.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, but I just love the energy and the passion that's coming from, you know, the public affairs person. You know what I mean? Like in the public affairs person, you don't really see that emotion. We see the product of what you do, right? But to hear this, you know, it just shows everybody here, man, is just
super passionate.
It's really invested and tied into this thing, locked in, bought in.
That's it. And by the way, that makes it hard to work here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of conflict here because of it.
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody here is like, why are you not helping me do my life's work?
Right.
You know? Why are you talking about this? And they're like, this is my life's work. Why are you talking about this other thing that I don't do?
Right.
And you know, because of that, they attract you know, and Valerie as our CEO really brings in excellence and passion and commitment. And so we almost have like avatars or caricatures.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, you know, who else would you want to do public and community affairs than some dude who from Chicago who met the Obamas when he was young and cries all the time? You know, like
you worked at Disney though too. So
exactly. Like, right. Come on. You know, who else would you want to do? I mean, you met John Roberson. He's like the quintessential operations guy. You know? He's all muscular and serious. And, you know, head shaved. And
wait till you hear this podcast, baby.
Exactly.
He was cool.
We got to make this happen. So,
sorry. I was going to say, this doesn't feel like a traditional presidential library, right? I feel like there's many things that obviously make it different. This is the presidential center of the first Black president of the United States. So that alone, I feel like there's so much pressure in that by itself.
Yeah.
And then all of the accomplishment of the president and Mrs. Obama, that too is like, they did so much during their 8 years that it's like, you obviously want to capture that history, you want to capture that legacy. But what other than that, what experience do you want Chicagoans and visitors from all over the country to go through while they're here?
You know, I'll tell you two stories that just exemplify that that really made me know that we had nailed it. So, well, the first thing is not a story, but I think one of the things that I want people to feel and experience when they're here is that this really always was here. Because so much of who the Obamas are and what they brought to the world was always here. We always had brilliance.
Right.
We always had grace. We always had class. We always had wonderful, sparkling Black girls like Michelle Robinson running around here doing spectacular things, raising their families, being perfect because they had to be perfect, sweating every detail because that's what they had to do. That was always here. You know, we always had ambitious young brothers who were trying to make it, you know, entrepreneurs, community organizers, bringing people together, you know, but they were doing it in all kinds of other venues and ways. Some of them in the legitimate economy, some of it in the illegitimate economy, right? But and we always had this beautiful park. And we always had, you know, these beautiful families, right? This was always here.
Right.
Very diverse area. You know, this area, you know, everybody thinks about the South Side of Chicago as being, you know, this Black community, but Hyde Park and Woodlawn it's incredibly diverse.
Yes.
And so part of what I want people to experience is that this was always here and that we are revealing that to people. But I'll just say for the museum itself. So my niece came. She's a college student, and she went through and we sat down and we asked, you know, like, what was your takeaway? And she said, you know, I've got to do more. You know, I got to do more. There are things that I care about, and you know, I didn't really maybe respond to that email. You know, I signed up for this program, you know, this club. I didn't really go. I didn't respond. You know, I gotta do more, because she saw that it was really just, you know, everyday people that not just created, you know, the presidency of Barack and Michelle Obama, but created everything that inspired them to actually want to be in public office. The other thing I saw was I was talking to these two little boys, and and these two little black boys. And I was trying to talk to their parents, but they were just running around. So I had to like stop and pay attention to them because they were not going to not be paid attention to. And I was like, oh, you sat in the Oval Office and you were in the chair. And I was like, how did you feel? Did you feel like you could be president? He said, well, one of us is going to be president and the other one's going to be vice president. But we all know which one is which. But right?
Yeah.
Like
they got these visions.
Yeah, they got these visions.
Yeah.
And that is what I was gonna say is I think that probably in the home of the Kennedy family or the Bush family, people said, you could be president, you could be vice president, right?
Yeah.
I want every family to have that feeling, to have that conversation, no matter what they end up doing.
I think you also mentioned seeing people that look like them in these spaces.
Yeah.
And I love that the museum includes the photo of the young black kid touching the president's hair and seeing like, oh, your hair looks like mine. Yeah. And I feel like I remember that moment when it happened and I was like, this is such like, it's such a small, it feels like a small interaction that just probably meant so much to so many people.
A whole community.
And it's like such a phenomenal metaphor for truly, and I think that's why like when we do what we do, I feel so proud of everything, being able to go into all these communities because it's not often that you see an Arab and a black guy just going into different spaces that you don't think are made for you. And when, they see us there, they're like, many times people have come up to Dario and they're like, oh, I saw you at the Hancock and I feel like now I can go because you look like me and you're there, maybe not verbatim that, but like, I saw you there. So now I feel like I should go there kind of thing. And I feel like this has just done that on such a grand scale because you see the entire history of the country and you see the role that different groups of people have played throughout the history of the country. And if you relate to any of these groups, you see yourself right there.
Well, it's really hard to be what you can't see. Now, many people, they dream a vision, but that's why books and storytelling is so important because those are the places that put those visions into your heart. That's why cultural institutions are important because they put those visions, into your heart. And so, I think the reason why this story, and I think of this from a public affairs standpoint, the reason why the story you just described is so important is because that's actually the true story. But there's another story that is being told that excludes us, that excludes those people. The reason why those folks say that they now feel like they can go into the Hancock building because they see you there, or the reason why they say, well, maybe I don't have to be afraid or nervous of my Arab brothers and sisters because I see you there. The reason why that's necessary is because they've been told a different story relentlessly, and people believe the stories that they are told.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that story is really critical, but we don't have to tell it in a way that's exclusionary.
Right. Right.
We can tell it in a way that creates an invitation.
Yeah,
right,
for sure. And we never shy away from the hard conversations. And I think we always say to criticize our city, for example, when we talk, is because out of love, because we want it to be better, and we do our best to never really focus on anything that's too negative. But the history is what it is, and you have to tell it truthfully. With facts.
Word. I mean,
but it's also, it creates hope because you see where we were and where where we are now, maybe not in this exact moment, but how far we've come.
But we are here in this exact moment.
Right.
Right.
And
we are here.
And I think that this space also does that.
Well, that I think is also in the DNA because when I got here 10 years ago, this was not even an idea. We hadn't I just barely selected our architects. So what this was going to be wasn't known yet. And the very first thing that I did is I had conversations with people in the community, in this neighborhood. And people in this community, in this neighborhood, they were angry.
Really?
Right? Now, some folks were excited. Some folks were thrilled. But if you're excited and you're thrilled, it's just like, all right, well, that's cool.
Yeah, right.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
Right.
I am gonna do something else.
Yeah.
The people I saw were the people who had criticisms, who had critiques, who had fears, who had dreams. But I believe that if you're going to get out of your way, come out of your everyday to come to a meeting with me,
Right.
you love this place.
Yes.
You are committed enough that now there are some people who just wanted attention for their own agenda.
Right. Right.
And there are some people who just like to tear things down.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I listened to them, but they didn't end up becoming a part of this.
Right.
Because we were always going to build and create and do something. The status quo was not happening
Right.
here any longer.
Right.
And so if you wanted to just tear things
It had
down,
to be constructive.
you have to be constructive.
You got to.
But constructive does not mean you have to be polite.
Right.
Right.
Constructive does not mean you got to lie
Yeah. Right.
about what your legitimate concerns are, or about the history of displacement
Yep.
and gentrification and structural and institutional racism, and the disinvestment that people have lived.
Right.
Yes.
And so those are the conversations that we had, and my hope is that truth, that dialogue is reflected in what this place now is. We don't have to have that discussion now anywhere.
Right.
Or try to find some. You can have that discussion right here. There's a place for it. A beautiful, free place for you to have a conversation about the direction of this neighborhood, this community, and this country.
And I want to stick on this space, right? We were here for the Creator Day that you all had. You moderated, led that discussion. We had the designers, they were there, the architects there.
Yeah. And I had my Jordans on.
And you had
Let's not forget that.
We can talk about that later because I was like, my brother, clean up there. But there was a moment there, right, that is going to live with me forever as a historian and somebody that looks at Chicago's architectural history, right? You were talking to the designer, the guy. He is the architect. Yeah, I keep on messing up. But he goes, Pastor Mike talked to him how he came to design, why did he like it, right? He started talking. He got through a sentence or two and started getting choked up, and then had to pass the mic and was like, you finish it. In that moment, I was like, you can't tell me nothing bad about this building. If the man who built this thing is crying over his passion behind it, I don't want to hear nobody else's critique. I'm like, that man put his heart into that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because I know it's been some little discord. People like the building, people don't like it. And then people come up to him and be like, oh, it's better in real life. How do y'all land that message with people to come here and see it? Just come here and see it first.
First of all, I think architecture, and I learned this from my wife. So I met my wife down at the University of Illinois in Champaign. I was a theater major.
Okay.
And she was an architecture major, which primarily meant she had homework all night and I had none.
Yeah. You could chill.
So I was hanging out with her. That's how we found. That's where we fell in love, in the architecture studio. And I think that what I've learned is art, culture is most meaningful when it has a very specific, intentional idea. And part of the idea of this was to stand out, right? Was to say something to people, so that could not be ignored,
right?
And there are people who are not going to like that,
right?
There are people who did not like Barack Obama,
Right.
There are people who do not like, Barack Obama,
Right.
We're not here if to smooth out every edge so that we stand for nothing.
That's impossible. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the building really represents that. It is here to ennoble. And to say that this was important.
Man.
But I think you said something which is so interesting to me because it is, I think, part of the design of this, which is, okay, you come here and I'm going to check this out.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to check it out because you don't like it,
right?
And you want to be here to criticize it and really see it up close and see what's up. But once you get here, you get enveloped by the place,
100%,
right? And then all of these little surprising things are right around the corner.
Yep.
I can't really see what's over there where that grass is and that hill, but it looks I see the trees. It looks kind of beautiful. So let's walk over there.
Let's go there.
And so all of a sudden you're in this another beautiful, wooded, quiet, contemplative space. Wait a minute. Is that a playground? That looks like a dragonfly.
Yeah.
Let me see what's over there. And then as you walk, what? Oh, that's the gym.
Yeah.
Let me see what's over there. But you can't see the wetland walk from the playground.
Right.
And you can't see the library or the forum from the other side of the park.
You focus right on what
You're where you are, so you can have a unique experience there. And so I kind of like this whole thing kind of wraps its arms around you.
Yeah.
Even if you come because, you find this thing arresting, but it's going to get your attention.
Yeah, it's going to get you. Yeah.
My favorite part is how it was the first time that we walked on the eastern end of the campus, and it just flows right into Jackson Park, which I did not realize, mostly because every time we visited, we just didn't make it that far east, or the fencing was still up.
Yeah.
But it just, you could walk straight onto MSI's grounds, or you could cross over to the island, or it's just fits right in to the existing. And you saying that it's always been there, was so true, because I just stood there and I was like, it feels like the most beautiful. I can't live anywhere else.
That's it, right?
I can't live anywhere else. It has to be here.
Well, that's why and how this, at the end of the day, is not about or for the Obamas.
Yeah.
Right? You come here and maybe you think because of the conversation that we have in this world and how we're having it, that this, has to be about an individual, or this has to be a monument to something.
Right.
But that just isn't who they are, and that's not what they created. You can spend you could come to this place, and many people will. I saw people walking and jogging here who are going to be here every day.
Yeah.
You can come to this place every day and not set foot in the museum, not ever see anything about the Obamas as individuals or as presidents. But what you will experience is their love for this city.
Yeah.
You will experience how much they believe that beautiful spaces. My wife says something that I now really believe, which is, see beautiful, feel beautiful. And I just love the fact that children from this community and this neighborhood are going to have access to these beautiful spaces, because before this was here, you had to play Frogger across Cornell.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if you knew
Yeah.
that there was a lagoon and an island back there. People would go into the Museum of Science and Industry. They would drive into their basement and they would drive out. But, the Griffin Museum has created this campus with us. They've opened up the back they're opening up the back into the lagoon, right? Yeah. This is something that we now have opened up for people to experience what was already there.
Okay, I'm curious. Is there going to be snow, sledding in the winter on the hills? Okay.
All right, I got to tell you something very specific.
Okay.
Which is one of my favorite stories. So, we're in all these meetings about what they really want, and the whole idea of creating some topography in a very flat city and a very flat land was great. And Mrs. Obama said that when she was a girl, she was always just jealous because there was never any place in her neighborhood to go sledding.
Oh, wow.
And she wanted a sledding hill.
Wow, no way.
So literally the amphitheater, the lawn, is built to be a sledding hill in the winter.
That's
wow.
So cool.
Yeah, I'm so glad you picked up on that.
Yeah.
I saw it and I was like, oh, that would be
a fun hill.
Oh, it is. Yes, that is definitely a sledding hill. Oh, and we'll see if it goes as fast as the slide. Because the slide is cooking.
The slide. Bro, let's have a conversation about the slide.
The slide is cooking.
The slide is
I'm scared to go on it.
Man, have you been on it?
Nah.
Oh my man.
He flew like 3 feet.
Right.
At least 3 feet in front of it. I was like, I came out, there was kids looking at me like, what's wrong with him?
Exactly.
I was like, man,
Yeah.
Luckily, the ground is soft.
Luckily,
we put all that cushioning there.
Bro, I bounced like, I'm like, man, it was skip rocks.
Yeah,
man.
now see, if you were 8, you would have been straight. That's why you shouldn't have been up on that.
Man, 42, my tailbone is going out now. Like, man, it's just a beautiful thing to see how much, effort was put into the intentionality, not effort, intentionality that was put into these different aspects. I didn't even think about when you are in these different areas, you can't see something else. because it's true. We've been there, and I'm like, man, you can't see it from over there. And I'm just saying that. But now it's like, it's intentional, right?
Intentional.
They wanted you to be in the moment, right? Where you are.
Yes.
That's amazing. And that, I'm so glad that we're here to get this messaging out, just for us selfishly. You know what I mean? Like, because like I love the space, right? And there's these little details that just make it stand out. Like you said, this is not a typical presidential center, right? Obama he is forever, and the Obamas are forever who they are, right? But they have given us something that is literally going to live on forever, and it's going to be here forever.
And I almost see them as two separate people. You know, the president and the first lady, and then them as civilians now, and like the things that they're doing in their community. I feel you relate to them as like people that are doing things for their community, that want to create spaces for people to come in, and they just feel accessible.
That
that
is who they are.
Yeah.
You know, I met them in 1992. I was 23 years old. And they were engaged. So, 91. And now 90. Anyway, I'm getting old.
You take these years
I was
back.
old. Listen, I was young.
Yeah.
They were not as young as me. I met them when they were engaged. And the thing that I admired about them then is that they wanted to use, to quote the king, LeBron James, their talents to make the world a better place in some way. And it wasn't about being, no one was talking about being president of the United States then. They were, working as lawyers. And they, first of all, wanted to have a great marriage. And my wife and I, we got married the same year they did. And so that's what I admired. And so what I always would tell people when I was campaigning for him when he was running for president is, this is not about the presidency. His career, his life is not about the presidency. This is a unique opportunity for him to involve other people, to give his best to his country, to be able to play a specific role. But I think the role that they have now as citizens who have had the opportunity because they're reached where they were to give back, right? You're president of the United States, somebody comes and is like, well, what are you going to do with your library? Like, oh, that's an opportunity.
Yeah, that's an opportunity.
That's an opportunity to give back and to give in a way that connects to who they always have been. Is exactly the truth, in my view, in my long view of really who they are.
I love that.
Look,
that's amazing.
Yeah, I want to tell you, just wrap up here, man. But I want to tell you, man, flowers to you and the whole team, man, because you all have done such a great job of making this an inviting place. The messaging is consistent. The place is exactly what you all wanted it to be, what the Obamas wanted it to be, and it just feels good to be on the South Side. I'm not gonna lie, man. First of all, it couldn't have been anywhere other than Chicago, but it couldn't have been anywhere other than the South Side of Chicago.
That's
right?
exactly right.
And it just feels good that we can say that and know what everybody know we talking about.
Right.
We know we talking about.
Right.
We don't have to say it. And y'all have done a great job of acknowledging what people like, what they don't like, and what is to come for the future, right? And where y'all are going, where you stand. So flowers to y'all, man.
Thank you.
Man, flowers
Thank you.
To y'all.
Yeah. Well, I voted. I put one small vote in for Hawaii but nobody listened to me.
You were trying to move to Hawaii.
Exactly. I was like, or go visit there for work.
Right.
Yeah, right. Travel
work trip. Right. Yeah. So no, it had to be here.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that I love about what I've experienced thus far is what I experienced, in my grandparents' house over around 79th and King Drive. Both sets of grandparents lived 2 blocks away from each other. And I would just say, when you go into their house, and I see this out here thus far, you got to act right.
Yep, man.
You got to act a certain way.
Yeah, Auntie Jared she already talked about it. She talked.
Oh, she got people. I don't need to say nothing.
Bro, she put a whole thing out there for them.
Okay, then I don't have to say anything. She's got them information.
Yeah. She let them know.
So that's what we're experiencing too, and that part of the South Side, which is this is yours.
Yeah.
And because it's yours, you need to be and act a particular way, not just so that you're elevated in here, but so that this place stays elevated for your little cousins,
Right.
You know, for the elderly that are here,
beyond you,
right? For those who are yet to come, that's a part of this too. So the fact that you are able to come here and capture the heart of it. And give it to people who may be thinking, you know, hey, I'm in Albany Park. Like, why am I coming to, you know, Jackson Park for this?
You need to be here.
Doing that is just a gift to us. So thank you.
I love that.
Man, look,
Thank you so
honestly,
much.
5 years in the game. This is our mission to kind of introduce the world to Chicago.
Yes, and Chicago to the world.
On that note, y'all, Sprout, thank you, my man.
Thank you.
We really do appreciate you.
Great.
Yes,
Much
absolutely.
love.
Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm your friend. And my friend from St. Louis.
We came from Twin Cities, Minnesota.
That's right, from San Antonio, Texas.
I'm from the north side of Chicago. Yeah.
Your headphones.
Yeah,
Look at that. I'm all in the house. I feel good in the saddle, baby.
Let's go. Let's go. Well, Chef Cliff Rome, y'all, if y'all don't know who he is, the head person here when it comes to the food, man. How I feel.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
You know,
Before
it's a great feeling.
before we start talking, I just want to let you know that Peaches is one of our favorite breakfast spots.
Say it.
That peach coffee
Yes.
Yeah.
blows my mind every time. I'm like, how do they do it? I know they roast it especially for you.
Yep.
But it is like every time we go in there, I'm like, it feels like a neighborhood spot.
We also are ambassadors too, because we tell everybody, you got to get the peach and coffee. Yeah.
I mean, I love it. Right? We need, want, and gotta have it.
Yeah. But you know, peaches is one thing.
Yeah.
This is another. You know, so
Yeah.
I mean, you have your stats, your resume is.
Oh man, I like that, man.
Yeah.
I like to hear that.
Yeah.
You know, because what happened was a long time ago, I started saying that, you know, I wanted to create multiple opportunities for us, not to just employ people, but to be able to have careers.
Yeah.
Right.
So, because having a job is one thing, right? Because it gets you from A to B.
Yeah.
But the idea was like get them from A to Z.
Right.
And that's a process.
Yeah.
And so a job can't do that. A career can help you with that
Right.
tremendously.
Right.
And so that's been pretty much the mission that we've been on, figuring it out, right? And if I didn't have all the answers, which I didn't, I realized there's a message in there when you said that there's an opportunity to partner with people who are smarter than you, bigger than you,
Right.
you know, see more than you.
Right.
And it's okay. So I put my pride in my back pocket, you know, and say,
You have to.
Hey, let me go out and look at cats that I admire,
Right. Yeah.
see what they're doing, and see how partnerships can form. And that's how we got here.
Yeah, I mean, what happened? Obama said, hey, man, I need a cook, I need a chef, I need some of the best. And chef, what you doing?
Yeah, he hollered at me, right? He was like, hey, hit me. Hit me up. No, what really happened was like, so we were over at University of Chicago, and we are already in partnership with Bon Appetit Management Company.
Right.
And at that point, they had the food management contract over at the University of Chicago. And so they brought us on campus because part of the goal was to make sure that they incorporated not just potential candidates for employment via this, you know, surrounding zip codes, but they wanted to have more in-depth relationships with smaller institutions in the community, right?
Yeah.
People who had already been there. So we were afforded the opportunity, and once it came up, you know, I look back, man, it was 5 years.
Right.
Right? It went by fast.
Yeah.
And then we kept in contact, obviously, after they didn't renew their contract. And because we had such a great relationship and this opportunity came up, because at first it wasn't even on my radar.
Right.
This is almost 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so once we got to a point where, you know, we started to have the conversation, Fidel, who is the owner of Bon Appetit, he was like, hey, chef, I think this is a perfect opportunity for us to get our, you know, moral compasses aligned, right? And I think the messaging that we have is exactly what OPC was looking for, right? So it was one of those perfect storms where you didn't have to make it up.
Right.
It was like, man, that's perfect.
It just aligned.
Right? You didn't force it either, right? Because that was the thing. Because I said, you know, at the end of it, they're not from Chicago.
Right.
Though they had a footprint in Chicago, they're California based.
Right.
And I'm like, man, it's shot time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a different way,
different.
legitimately, on how you have to nurture those relationships.
Right.
And so we're not coming in saying, hey, listen, if there's a portion on this contract this should be divvied up and given to this person, and we just want them to have. Like, no,
Right, yeah.
I can see through that. It needs to be a real relationship.
Right.
So I was courted. I felt like the prom date, right? But BA and I started to talk more and more, and I was like, well, this is the most natural fit.
Right.
We didn't have to force it. We already know how to work together well.
Yeah.
And I think that this would be a great footprint for us to follow and then build on. And,
Right.
and it happened.
Man, it's beautiful because you set it up. You set it up already. You got to work with people bigger than you that know more than you. That's doing things you're not doing.
Right.
And it just worked out for you that you took that that advice and just y'all made something happen. Now, you being from Chicago, right? And know the lay of the land. When Obama said they bringing a center here and they need some food, man, how do you even prepare item menus? I know they brought some
we were
stuff
here
to you.
we were here for one of the previews, and I remember you saying that like there was multiple trials of different dishes.
Yeah.
So I'm so curious what that process was like. Like, how long did that take? How much input did they have?
Oh man, imagine this over a course of 3 years, right? We just because first you had to develop it so you could show it,
Yep.
right? And that was part of the RFP process.
Right.
And it's really you throwing a whole bunch of things against the wall, seeing what'll stick.
Yeah.
And once you get to that phase, then it's the next phase of saying, okay, now we have it.
Yeah.
Once we when we went in for the actual bid process, we really turned the Parkway Ballroom, which Parkway Social. I was in the midst of converting the space from the ballroom to Parkway Social.
Yeah.
So it was a bunch of stuff everywhere. We just pipe and draped the middle of the actual ballroom and said, all right, we're going to flip it so it'll look like OPC.
Yeah.
So we created a cafe.
Wow.
We created a restaurant. And the original name that we had pitched for the restaurant was Mish, right? So we found out that's what President Obama finally calls Mrs. Obama,
Yeah.
right? Mish. And then we had the stage set for like catering. So we had the cafe, we had the restaurant, we had other vendors set alongside.
Wow.
So when they came in, it felt like, wait, where am I at?
Right.
Wow.
So you didn't even feel like you were in the ballroom.
That just gave me goosebumps.
Dress for
Right.
the jobs that you
That
want,
is
not the job you have.
That's right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So once we flipped the script there and they saw everything that we were capable of doing, then I think, and I don't know, but I think it made the process a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Or at least started to narrow it down.
Yeah.
And so then we had to come back with some, sharpen our pen a little bit, right? And then, or sharpen our pencil a little bit. But then we came back with some other concepts, and I think it was it aligned.
Yeah.
And once we got the green light, it was like go. It was like hurry up and wait. Though,
Right.
Yeah. Man,
That's
amazing.
crazy.
That's amazing. I mean, because like really, you to have that effort, I feel like that's what got you there, right? Like that's what won you the job, right? Is them seeing the effort that you put in. It's kind of like the architects that designed this whole place. The concept of a campus. You know what I mean? Like that helped them win. It's something that just stood out. You have a lot of businesses already, man. You doing a lot of things. Yeah. Is that something that's just you, right? That's just you. You take that not leap of faith, but you put in that extra effort just to kind of get ahead first.
100%, but it's a learned behavior.
Yeah,
right. Watching other people, watching mentor. Listen, I talked about this last week. The power of partnership is crazy, right? And then just understanding mentorship. Right, we need it. We also have to do it.
Right,
and so it's been a part of the fabric that we've been weaving together, man. I can't wait to see this blanket we're gonna be finished with. Right? because it's really about understanding your limitations, but being adult enough, right, and professional enough to go out and seek the gap fillers that you need. And sometimes it's not a lot. Right. Sometimes you're right there and you don't know it. See, here's the thing about blessings, man. You don't know when they're coming.
Right.
Yeah.
They're always coming, but you just don't know when.
You don't know when.
And so you just have to be prepared. So I think that there was a lot of luck in there, but it was a lot of preparation.
There's a lot of preparation.
Yeah. So I agree when folks say you have to stay ready.
Yeah.
Because you never know when those opportunities are going to come.
Yeah.
Because I'd imagine people apply from all over.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a major. And here's the other thing, man. We on the south side of Chicago.
Yes.
Right. This is not downtown. This is not North Shore.
Yeah.
This is not the suburbs or surrounding area. This is like middle of the city.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
South side. It's a big deal.
Yes.
It is it's an
Major
international stage. Yes. So we don't get I said this to some people. I said, listen, I don't know what you know, but you're not going to see this for another 50 years.
Minimum. At least. Yeah.
Minimum.
At least. Yeah. I mean, you're exactly right when you talk about like there's a new light cast on the South Side now, right? You know, it's not the South Side that you know in the media. Y'all can keep pushing it as long as you want to, but that's done. You know what I mean? Like that's done. Like we got, and it's not just the Obama Center, right? It's that's doing this, right? We already know the community out here is heavy and is deep, man, right? Yeah. But like now we got that spotlight where you can't just run up and start talking crazy about us. You
Absolutely
not.
You know? Absolutely. Yeah. In summertime, it's a different city.
Come on now.
It's a different city.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so I think that what happens, and a lot of times, we get a bad rap. South Side, West Side. The good news doesn't necessarily come from here. So I am excited that and overjoyed that we're getting the type of recognition because the people who have been doing the work actually get a chance to participate.
Right. And people have been doing the work for decades.
Yes.
It's not like this just started.
Yeah.
Like this has been going on. Like the community has been showing up for its people for literal decades. I mean, we spent the last 5 years visiting every single neighborhood, and the story is the same in every single neighborhood where, yes, if there was like disinvestment from the city, it was the neighborhood showing up for its people.
Right.
And like that is true all over, but very much true. Like there's so much community strength and bond within the South and West Sides, like nowhere else.
I mean, you can see it, you can feel it. Yeah. You know, there's local stores and shops, you can taste it. Yeah. You can smell it. I mean, it's everything. It's all the senses. But to your point, it's been going on.
Yeah.
It's not just because the center is here that it's happening. No, it was already happening.
It's been happening.
Right. And so now it's with this stage, with this opportunity, now we're able to showcase it.
Yeah. Right.
And that's what's been missing.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
The spotlight.
And legitimately, it's been missing. I talk about it from a food perspective, and that's a small, drop in the bucket compared to all the other things that we have. But specifically, we've never had a food thing this big in terms of platform.
Right.
Yeah, James Beard Awards have been hosted here. Yeah, Chicago Gourmet, Illinois Restaurant Association does dope stuff.
Yeah.
The city would bring it back the taste of Chicago. There's plenty of festivals and things like that. So, we had great things happening.
Yeah.
But when we start to look at internationally and how Chicago is looked at from an international stage anyway, stop playing.
Yeah, for sure.
Stop playing.
And I want to talk specifically about the restaurant because the story behind the name is really special, and I want you to kind of share that a little bit, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the space because it is absolutely beautiful up there.
Yeah. So Tafari Ice Kitchen is named after the chef who passed away, President Obama, the Obama family chef. He was at the White House, and then he was their personal chef. I think President Obama made several attempts to pay homage to people who were very close to him. Right. So it's definitely heartfelt. There's a portrait of him in the restaurant, which is fabulous. Yeah. Right.
So good.
But I think that not just the name, but what it meant. Right. Yeah. The kitchen becomes this loving space that we call a loving kitchen. Right. And I think those opportunities to be able to talk about it and bring it to light and then showcase it is just reflective of, how you feel about people and what you want the significance of, the homage to be. Yeah. Like, because it's one thing to honor someone, but it's another thing to honor someone and tell a story and have that legacy be built and continue on. Yeah. Right.
Are any of those dishes that he kind of like inspired by him or anything that he would prepare or?
So the ribs on the menu, there's some, we went through a bunch of things trying to figure out what part. And then P44 said, we don't have to do everything all at the same time. Right. Which, because I think that in part of the process and preparation, what you're thinking is like, you have to throw everything out.
Right.
But it was really like, no, let's pace ourselves. Yeah. Right? We're going to be here for a minute.
Yes. Yeah. A long minute.
for a grip.
Yeah.
So the idea is like, okay, we don't have to overwhelm people because the idea isn't to impress them.
Right.
The idea is to be consistent. Right. Right. So I said perfect costs too much. Yeah. Right. So what people really want is consistency.
Right.
And so and the president was very, very, very clear around having food that was very approachable. Yeah.
Super.
Right.
Everything on the menu is something I've had a version of before.
Right.
And it all sounds very familiar, very approachable. It's like the perfect like lunch spot, perfect you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just a meal that you can go and it's a beautiful space, but you also feel like you're having a nice meal, but it doesn't feel unapproachable.
Right. And that was important and strategic because, this is a cultural institution, right? Part of walking away from here is feeling like you had a seat at the table.
Yeah.
Right.
Like legitimately. And it's not just this thing, because it could be like 5-star dining, but it's not. It's
Right.
not. Like it is a very beautiful, incredibly beautiful space.
Yeah.
And the idea of the architectural design, what it means, why it was built that way, inviting people who sometimes might not even have an opportunity to go to spaces and places like that, right?
Right.
But when you look at it, it's here and you could feel it and touch it.
Yeah.
I mean, what else could you ask for?
Right. I mean, you as I'm sure as a chef, you know what I mean? Like this is, how do you, Tafari had his legacy. Now, how do you say, all right, now is it you saying this is my legacy now, in comparison with in culmination of all your other works, right? Do you see that as I'm taking the mantle now, right, from him, and the torch is passed?
No, not necessarily, because that is a special moment, right? And so it deserves a special place.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is different, right? Our lane is really about mentorship, right? And it's really cultivating the crop of the next generation of leaders, right? And every word of that. I'm not in the kitchen every day, right? And that's the reality.
Yeah.
Right.
Our executive chef, our culinary director, Dorian Payne, he's ridiculous.
Really?
Like his knife skills, his culinary just chops, he understands it, right? And so, like, he is the next, right? And who he's bringing up, right? My job is to go out and help identify the talent, right? And then help mold and cultivate and mentor those folks.
Yeah.
I know the homework assignment.
Yeah.
Right?
You've been doing it.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was writing the curriculum, right? So I get what it really should be. And listen, food service, culinary, hospitality is a career path, right? That landing spot does not have to be temporary.
Right.
There's so many different lanes.
Yes.
But here's what happens. A lot of times, someone comes to the door and they have a bag. No, everyone comes to the door with baggage.
Yeah.
The problem is you don't know what's in it.
Right.
So what happens more times than not, especially in communities that have been underserved, no matter where you are on the globe, if you don't have the creative skills or the connectivity, then you miss it. Because what you really realize when you're working with people is that they need a long enough runway to fail.
Yeah.
You have to have that.
Yes.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Right.
And if you're dealing with people, then you know that there's a checklist of things that you have to hit. Right? That's automation can't, you can't. No, it is a boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to look a person in the eye. Did you over the glass? Right? Did you? Yeah, right. Because we all know that look, right?
Yeah.
Like how you gonna substitute that?
Yeah.
You can't.
You can't.
And so part of it is me identifying that. And so in the role that I sit in now, it's the responsibility isn't just me in there cooking, collecting accolades for, hey, I made this dish.
Right.
I could proudly step aside knowing that I've already done the work.
Yeah.
Now I'm on another chapter of work, right? Which is probably more important than the work that I've done.
Probably a lot more.
Yeah,
a lot more.
So, I rest good at night knowing that, I don't have to, have my name next to all of these things because I know what is right next to my name.
Right.
And I think there's so much more, obviously, like a feeling of accomplishment when you kind of have either mentored, passed down that knowledge, cultivated skills in 20 other people than for you to infinitely, like forever be in that kitchen putting out those dishes.
Yeah. Listen, there's a time limit, man.
Yeah.
There's always an expiration date. We deal with items that are perishable, right?
Yeah.
In our industry, that is what you do. And so I think that a lot of times you have to recognize it's okay to step aside.
Yeah.
And more importantly, it's probably time that you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Because maybe the calling isn't the kitchen.
Right.
Maybe the calling is the overall thumbprint.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And so because I recognize that, it is very easy for me to move around.
Yeah.
But then, sometimes you got to roll up the sleeves.
Yeah. You got to get dirty
show
real
these
quick.
cats, right? You're like, man, I'm slick with it. But that's the other part.
Because they try you out here. Huh?
Yeah, that's the Inglewood coming out. 57 and Bishop, baby. Yeah.
Hey, that's funny.
And so I did notice some things on the menu were kind of seasonal. There's like a seasonal salad. There's also obviously the fruit and vegetable garden. And I know it's very important to Michelle Obama and President Obama that, food is served maybe locally or what's in season. And you can see it in the cafe, even with like the snacks that are picked out. And like there's an abundance of like fruit options. If it's not in season, it's like dried fruits and stuff like that. I'm so curious about like what's the relationship between the fruit and vegetable garden and the restaurant and maybe like the local farms. What is that going to look like?
Like the old two-step, right?
Okay.
It's 1-2. We had locked in step together. I am so excited. I was talking to Matt about programming, right? Man, we were finishing each other's sentences, man, because we are so excited for opportunities to be able to program around food. And it's these activations that are going to be exciting to be a part of, but we'll get a chance to bring that international flair and flavor from a local perspective, right? Yeah. Imagine being able to authentically bring the people who are creating these dishes from Pilsen, right, or Chinatown, or Little Italy, right? So, clearly the South Side, but then include those farmers, those bakeries. I mean, we're doing, we have collaborations that we're going to do, and we're bringing that product on site from Chef Maya, Justice for the Pie, Stephanie over at Brown Sugar
Bakery.
Man, like those two alone. Not only do I love them to life, right, but just the way that they have done and built. Monica over at Carver 47, my big sister. I mean, like there's so many different things that we're looking to do, and so we could talk for hours and hours and still only fill up a little bit of space, right? Yeah. When it comes to cuisine and who it touches and how it makes people feel. So just get excited about the programming that we're working on.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm already excited, man, because like the reason why I'm excited is because the food gonna be healthy. Michelle, she ain't gonna let you, she ain't gonna let you slide on that one. But also it's our foods that we're familiar with done in a way that's sustainable and is healthy for us. You know what I mean? Like, what was it? Is the chili? Her chili is one that I saw where when I think of chili, man, that stuff gonna be salty, seasoned to the max. But this is like good. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, man. In certain communities, most communities where there's a lot of substituting and there's not a lot of exposure. Right. What we tend to do is what people were doing before that. My mama made it like that, so that's how I'm gonna do it. Her mama made it like that. Her daddy was in there doing it. And so listen, I talk about this all the time. When I was a kid, I would leave for school. My grandmother was picking greens and putting them on. Dude, when I came home from school, them greens was still on, man. I'm like, wait a minute. And so you used to think that you had to wait all day. I'm like, Mama, it ain't take that long to cook greens. But I realized she was doing so many different things. It was on a low simmer. You can't burn them. Right? Because that's,
you burn them? You just ain't eating.
Right? And it wasn't that you were going to Chick-fil-A for dinner, right? You eating this, right? And it's enough for 2-3 days, right? So understanding that, I'm like, well, a lot of times you cooked all the nutrients out of the food. You didn't know it. It still tastes good to us, right? And then it was what they were adding in there, right? It wasn't smoked turkey.
No, was definitely not smoked turkey.
And veggie stock, it wasn't that, right? No. But it made the food taste good. And more importantly, I think that when you realize how engaged the loved one was who was preparing the food, it made the food better. Right. It made you always want to go.
Right.
Like, man.
Who cooking? That's why we ask the question.
Yes.
Who made
Come on, man. Stop it.
Who made the what? Who made the that?
Man,
who made the this?
Always, because you know what? It's your favorite auntie, your favorite uncle. You like, what? Who pound cake is that? Right? Because you have people. And the beautiful thing about food is it's the closest thing tied to music. Memory outside of music.
Right.
Right? It'll
For
instantly
sure.
take you back to a
Yeah.
place.
Yes.
You have something good, your feet get to tapping.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I remember. And that is the thing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that you want to hold on to.
Yeah.
Because I don't care how horrible you feel.
Yeah.
That's why people say that I brought you this to feel so that you feel better.
They know I'm about to win you back.
Yes.
I'm about to win you back.
Yes.
That's what she do to me.
Yeah. Correct. Anytime he's eating over a trash bin, I know I did my job correct.
Yeah, there you go.
He's not even sitting down.
No, what on this menu? What is something that you just personally you have an attachment to on the menu? Is there something that you just like, man, I love this because of X, Y, Z, or it's just good?
No, it's you know what there's not one thing, right? Because what we did was we create. Clearly, it wasn't just me; it was a team of us, right? And I want to always give like respect to the whole team.
Yeah.
But we did a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it really came down to what the president wanted,
Right.
what he saw,
Yeah.
right? He was like, no, this, no, that. He curated the whole thing.
He got a list
Wild.
too.
Dude, I tell people, like, I have the notes.
Yeah.
I kept the notes.
Yeah, you got
You
to keep
should
them.
keep the notes.
Right.
Frame them.
Yeah. But like he was going like, it should be a little more cheesier.
Yeah.
It should be like he was really so
Wow.
it wasn't someone else just saying, oh, he doesn't like that.
Yeah.
He was like,
him.
yeah, it was, and he was taking notes. Like, what about you? Did you like that? Was it too salty? Was it crispy enough? Like,
Wow.
you don't have that. And I try to. So if a person looks at it and says, oh, it doesn't give you a culinary it's not about me.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's about the person who's going to come here, who's come here from I don't know where,
Right.
whether it was down the street or across the pond.
Yeah.
Right? They're coming here, man. And it's not, again, I'm not here for 4 stars, 4 or
Right.
5 stars. It's not about me.
Right.
It's literally about the institution
Yeah.
and all the messaging in there.
Yes.
So when you come, it's supposed to make you feel a particular way. And here's the other thing, too. It's a place where there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right.
So when you come,
Yeah.
I tell hey, don't come here and don't come with an attitude. Right. Especially this weekend.
Hey, look.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Auntie Valerie Jarrett, she done already put the PSA out to the people. Don't come here with that mess. No time.
No
Yeah, yeah.
time. Because listen, everyone wants, look, if you feel it somewhere and you're saying, hey, listen, I'm here and I'm doing this and you're excited, somewhere in another state at a different time, someone else is saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it just happens to be that you meet here
Yes.
at the same time.
Yeah.
Right. And it's going to be a wait. So
Yes.
might as well get to know your neighbor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And understand that this is part of the appreciation of it. Because if you know what, and here's the other side. If you could come right in and you didn't have to wait in line and there was nobody else in here, you say, oh, wow.
Yeah.
What happened?
Right.
Right? You would
Yeah.
1,000% people
Yeah.
would say, oh my God, I guess it ain't what it's cracked up to be, right?
Yes.
But if it's a little bit of a wait,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Okay. All right. I think I hang out here. Yeah.
Hey, I mean, because you have to just put it in perspective.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
You don't
Great point.
You're coming here for something.
Yes.
And anything worth having.
It's worth the wait.
Right? Come on, man.
I knew it. You said.
Come on, man.
I know it.
You
I
know it.
Yeah.
So it's like quit playing.
Quit
Yeah.
playing. Yeah,
Quit playing. Right.
Yeah.
And that's it. Because we're loving on people when they come through.
Yes.
Right.
Man, I'm smiling and saying
Yeah.
good morning, good afternoon to people. And they're oh my gosh, right?
Yeah.
Because that is the spirit of the space.
Right.
We're not pretending.
No.
Man.
Like,
Oh, I've said this to every person that sat down at this table. The one standout thing for me has been how welcoming and nice every single person we've talked to
Everybody.
that's on staff.
Everybody.
Yeah.
That whether they're the person greeting you walking in, whether they're walking on with the like, how can I help you sign, if it's a historian, and literally anyone has just been, do you need anything? How are you doing? Is everything okay? Like just walking by. And I feel like it's just such a testament to the space, to the foundation, to everyone that works here, to like everything.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody here.
no, it's the culture.
Yeah.
I mean,
And you can't fake that.
No,
You can't fake that.
We could all see through.
Yeah,
some
we
of the
can see
fake,
through
right?
that.
That fake smile. You're like, why they fake smiling
Yeah,
me?
yeah. You
Right?
don't really
Yeah.
rock with me.
No, the fact that he sat and he talked to all the staff,
Yeah.
right? And he was very intentional, and always is when he said, "Hey, you guys are going to be the ones here."
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that you hold each other first accountable, right? And then set the tone, because it doesn't matter where you came from.
Right.
The fact is, you're here.
You're here now,
right? And so make us proud. It isn't, and he said it. It's not about him.
Right.
This space is not about. It's built by him.
Yeah.
Right. But the idea is that it's for people to enjoy.
Yeah. Right.
So yesterday on the campus, just seeing all these kids running around, families,
like rolling down the hill on the just it was so cool.
It's crazy to see. You're 100% spot on with the camaraderie from people all over the country. We put a post out yesterday, and I had to make a post. I told Sarah, I was like, man, look, we met people from Honolulu, San Francisco, Atlanta, Savannah, Twin Cities, Grand Rapids. All these people are here together, right? You know what I mean? Like, and I almost feel like the end game of when you are here, like when it's all said and done, like anything, you eat. Right.
Yeah,
and, you know, and so the process doesn't stop. You know what I mean? Like that happiness and that energy that you get from this don't stop at when you get to the dinner table, when you get to the lunch table, right? You still going, right?
Yep.
Like, and it's just very good to hear you say, you know, these things and like the passion that you have around it.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
No, it's important, man, because this is part of the messaging. I said this in an interview with CBS. Like, I get a chance to be the narrator.
Right.
And I love that part.
Yeah.
Because I don't want someone else telling my story.
Right.
This is my story. It belongs to me.
Yeah.
But you're going to get it in such a visceral way that it is very, you can feel the connectivity.
Yes.
Because it's very natural.
Yeah.
And that's the part of progression, or that's the part of success that most people don't get a chance to talk about.
Right.
Because those are removed from spaces where where there's potential for success.
Yeah.
And it looks different for everyone. So I wanted to be very clear, like, no, man, we're intentional about this. This is not, hey, for a clip. No, this is how we move.
Right.
And so if we're doing that in spaces, I want it to be felt.
Right. What is it, you got somebody coming here, first time, like most of us gonna be. What do you want to say to that person that's coming to sit down at Tafarai's Kitchen?
That seat was saved for them, right? That's intentional.
Yeah.
It is. It's really about, you know what? Sometimes in settings, man, we could be real, like, not real shady, right? Because we don't want to talk. We like just, But this is like, man, you don't know. First of all, you don't know who you're going to be sitting next to.
Boy, we say that all the time. You don't know who you're talking to.
You have zero idea. Part of the goal of being in this center and feeling all the emotions that you feel, because you cannot tell me that you don't walk in these halls on this campus and don't feel a certain way.
You can't say that.
Because if you do, you're front.
You lie. You lie. You lie. Period.
So I think that the idea of it being around food is the fellowship part.
Yep.
Tables, man, tables are like pillars. They're cornerstones in community. Yeah. If you remove that table, literally, from communities, you get what you got.
Yeah.
So just imagine this communal, even if it's not communal, but this setting where it is kind of tight-knit and you are kind of shoulder to shoulder. You're rubbing elbows with folks maybe that you've never met. Yeah. Probably. Yeah. There's a high percentage.
Very good chance that you've never met. Yeah.
And so why not enjoy that experience? Right. Over breaking bread. Because listen, breaking bread has been since the beginning of time.
I mean, that's innate. It's like that's in you.
Come on, man. What are we doing?
Yeah.
So if you're gonna be able to do that, you wanna break bread with people that are interesting.
Yes.
Right? Yes. And why I don't know you. Where you from?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, you from the city? What side of town? Because in Chicago, we like this. Where you from? Where you stay?
Where you stay? What high school you go to? Man, look, we know all the questions. What's the best arrows?
It's like, but that's part of the conversation.
Yeah.
And from a person that's here versus a person that came from someplace else, it's interesting.
Yes. Right.
And what I want to also say is that the local community benefits from that tremendously. Because if a person's here for the weekend, you're not just going to stay here.
Right.
Though you need more than one day on the campus.
Right.
You need
for sure.
more than two.
Yeah, more than two. Yes, absolutely. You need a weekend for sure.
You really do.
But while you're here, explore.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Explore the South Side. part of the idea of having Peaches be where it is, right, on the corner of 47 and King Drive, it's steeped in historical data. Right?
Super.
Right. And so when you think about Checkerboard Lounge, you know, all the celebrities that were there, you know, entertainers, educators from Langston Hughes to Ida B. Wells, you know, a lot of those folks, they tipped their hat and, man, they partied all night long at the Parkway Ballroom, at our space, right? And so having that as a salute or an homage to those giants in our community is important. So you need to be in Bronzeville to see Joe Lewis's house, to come to the Parkway Ballroom, to eat at Peaches. It becomes a through line to the culture that we're experiencing today. Stop by President Obama's house, have breakfast at Peaches, stop by President Obama's house, go through Hyde Park, right? Explore South Shore, Woodlawn, Kenwood, all the areas, right? And then come here on campus and enjoy all that. And by that time, you done worked up another appetite.
You hungry again.
So you hungry. We got you. Right? We got buy you some merch.
Man, look.
Come on, man. I want everything in them pockets.
Boy, let me. I don't want to hear nothing else. Obama, you good. For with me, you got my money.
I want it all, right?
Look, man, we started our tour. We had a tour a couple weeks ago. We started at Peaches. Just so
and we went to Blanc Gallery.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about.
So we were all up and down there, man. Look, I just want to say, man, we've been telling everybody here, honestly, just thank y'all for representing. You're not just representing, you know, Obama Foundation. You represent the South Side.
Yep.
You know, you may be more than others. You know what I mean? Like, you know, in a sense of you more out there, right? You know what I mean? People know you, man. So all y'all equally, thank you for just, you know, creating this environment that is the Obama Presidential Center and the energy that is top to bottom. You know what I mean? Like it's literally the same message. I don't know how y'all did this. Y'all SOP and y'all.
I don't know who wrote
Obama
this.
got y'all under the look. Because man, y'all all rock the same message, and it's true. It ain't even like a fake message. It's the real thing. Like you said,
it's authentic. It's authentic. You can't fake authenticity.
You can't.
You're like, it's hard to pull that off.
Yeah.
Right? Because it feels forced, man.
Sure.
This isn't forced.
Ain't no such thing as halfway crooks.
Hey, man, we 10 toes down, you know, around here, man. We 10 toes down.
Hey, that's our slogan right here. All we got to do is mind ours, and it's going to be all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
My brother Chef, many more to you blessings, man, on this. This is, I think, our 5th time here already. So so far, this has been our house too. So, and it feels like that. So
it should, man. Yeah. Man, the door's always open.
Yeah, well, we going to be here. Don't say that.
Knock on your office door.
Wait, what's Chef
Rome.
Yeah.
He said, what he said was,
I'm going to clip this and keep it in my phone.
We're posting this on social media.
There
man.
You go. There you go.
Keep on doing what you're doing, man, and cultivating that next wave, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
All right.
Oh my God, that was so good.
Yeah.
I could have talked to each one of them for like 2 hours.
Fantastic.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Such a cool insight into kind of the behind the scenes of everything that's happening. I feel like just getting to talk to them one-on-one and seeing how, you know, the messaging is like so consistent across all of them. It's like hard to fake that.
Yeah. It's super hard to fake.
Yeah.
It's hard to fake. And honestly, it's more than a training. It's a lifestyle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not just.
It's a culture.
It's a culture. Just like what Valerie said, 17,000 applications. You pick 170, something like that, right? Yeah. You're not just. That's a culture. That's what's culture. In people. You know what I'm saying? Like you looking for what's in people, right?
Yeah.
But man, it's just so good to hear, you know, how they feel about the space and how they feel about the Obamas, how they feel about the South Side, the journey. Yeah.
And you know, so many have been with the Obamas for so long, you know, that it's like they really know them.
They really know them.
And yeah. I mean, what an honor to like bring that vision to life. I feel like I'm so grateful we got to experience it on such a historic weekend.
Yes.
Obviously, I will say, like, even if you weren't able to make it here this weekend,
you got to get out here.
This is definitely a place that you should plan to visit. If you're from Chicago and, you know, you want to avoid the crowds, maybe wait another week. But I mean, it's
a week.
No, but I mean, like, it's not going to be thousands of people every day for them.
We don't know.
I don't know.
I'm betting that it might be. I'm betting that.
Well, I think the programming in like the plaza is not as packed and stuff like that. So like you can come and walk the campus. Like obviously we know the museum is sold out, but you can come and like walk the campus and experience that.
Very true.
Anytime soon, all over the summer. There's tons of programming happening. So there's a lot of opportunities for people to come and experience it. And I think it is like one of those quintessential Chicago experiences now.
Right. Yeah.
It's like you can't come to Chicago and you can't be in Chicago without having been here.
Man, that's a truest words ever said.
Honestly.
You Navy Pier, Bean, Sears Tower, OPC, you know, and the Hancock.
Yeah.
You know.
I feel like if you've seen art, if you want to see art, if you want to see special programming, if you want to experience beautiful architecture, if you want to be in nature, if you have kids, if you want to play sports, like
shoot, if you just want to feel good.
Yeah, like it is a place that hits so many different marks. If you want to eat good food, like there's so many different things for you to experience here. And we've been here a few times now and we still haven't experienced it all.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's just, I'm just so proud of it being in our city, and I'm so proud of it being, so like right in the South Side and on such a historic part of the of Stony Island. I just feel like it's yeah.
So it's amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I've been talking for hours, so the words are escaping me.
Yeah, the words are just leaving. I will say, first time recording in the studio in 5 years. How does it feel?
You tell me, does it sound different on your end? If you've been here for a while, you know that we record all over the city.
Yeah.
The city is our studio. So wherever we go, wherever there's a story, we put up our stuff and we record. And so I'm curious if you hear a difference, because here's the thing, the studio is open to the public. All you have to do is reserve it and you can use it. And so if you think we sound better in the studio, I will reserve this every week and we will be in here recording.
Right.
The padding on the wall is sick.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's like I'm sitting, like there's not a single echo.
Yeah.
This
is beautiful.
Arguably, they bought the best of the best.
Yeah, right. We were as we were sitting here, guitars over guns. Add to family friend of mine. I've known them since kindergarten, his brother since kindergarten. So I used to feed him chocolate milk. I'm sure he don't want to hear that, but it's really cool. He's right across the way with his students. He helped design. This is what he was saying. He helped design it. So, for me personally, when we asked the question a couple days ago, we said, what does this mean to me? Look, the ties to the South Side are super deep, man. That's a buddy of mine that I know since childhood.
Right.
We lived literally a block over from each other. He helped design this. Here we are sitting here recording a podcast. That's what this Obama Presidential Center is about. And
you see yourself in this.
You see yourself in here. And I mean, to be honest with you, you've been in this. Like if metaphorically, you've been here already, right? You know what I mean? Like, and that's the beautiful thing about this.
And especially, I think like every time we go into a room or a space, and I'm like, I'm not even thinking about like how can I relate to this, because that happens organically. But like yesterday, we were at the fruit and vegetable garden, and we saw Malcolm from Urban Growers Collective, and we hadn't seen him in so long, but he was one of our first interviews that we did
5 years ago.
And we sat down with him and then co-CEO of Urban Growers, and we had a huge conversation. And he was in an entirely different role, and now he's in he's had multiple different promotions, and he was just like so excited to see us. I was so excited to see him, and to think that like every single aspect of the center feels like a hand of our life has touched. Yeah. When we walked through the museum, we went with one of our friends who worked on the campaign, and that was so cool to experience it with someone that was there in 2007, 2000, just on the trail, and that was door knocking, and he was like, I have some of this memorabilia in my house still. Like I was there, I experienced it. And so it is like just so mind blowing. And it feels so approachable and relatable. I feel like I've said that a million times. You don't need to hear me say it anymore.
That's the truth, though.
That's the
truth of it. Yeah. Before we get out of here, special thank you to the Obama Presidential Center for having us out here to record on the first opening weekend. Just an absolute honor, and
for everyone giving us their time.
Yes.
Obviously for Megan,
Jared, all of them,
and Megan for helping organize the whole thing.
Yes.
I mean, the studio is beautiful. I will be back here anytime they want me to be here.
Right, we'll be back.
This is now your podcast.
Hey, man, look. But on that note, we gotta get out of here, don't we?
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It was different for us. We're excited to be part of history this time. If you did enjoy it, please share it with someone you love. And if you did not, that's all right. Come back next week. We'll have something different.
Can't cuss
the bar is high, though. The bar is high. I don't know what else you want me to do. Juggle. You gotta juggle some apples next time.
Figure it out.
Peace.